you. Please be seated. We are pleased to have a distinguished public servant join us today. Barbara McQuade served as the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan for 7 years. In her leadership role, she tackled cases that would impact the quality of life for all Michigan citizens. Cases of public corruption by elected officials in order to rebuild confidence in our government. Environmental cases that would result in protection of our waters, and cases related to crime to make our communities safer. During her tenure, Ms. McQuade aggressively prosecuted high-profile cases. A few of them you may have seen on television. But simultaneously, she worked to support initiatives to reduce community violence and to protect those who have fallen victim to civil rights violations. Before being named as the first woman to serve as U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan, she was Assistant U.S. Attorney in Detroit and was Deputy Chief of a National Security Unit. Ms. McQuade is a graduate of the University of Michigan and the University of Michigan Law School. Respected by both sides of the bar and the bench, she has left behind a legacy of public service as a U.S. Attorney. She built a team of outstanding lawyers who will continue to work to protect Michigan citizens and our state's resources, as she has done for the past 7 years. I am honored today to present to you our commencement speaker, former U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan and current Professor of Law at the University of Michigan, Barbara McQuade.
Well, good afternoon, President Smith, bachelor's, master's, and doctoral candidates, families, and honored guests. It is my great honor to speak to you today at your commencement from Eastern Michigan University. And may I say you look great. I love the sea of green, I love the hoods, and my favorite thing is the decorated caps. We're all wearing silly hats today, but I didn't decorate my cap. But I love the various decorations that we've seen. We were talking earlier, and our favorite was the one that said, "The BS was worth the BS." During the past several years, today's graduates have worked hard at their studies. You have been exposed to new ideas on this great campus. You have benefited from a diversity of perspectives. Some of you have juggled jobs and families with your studies, and some of you may even have indulged from time to time with baked goods from Don Bakery. Congratulations on a job well done. Let's hear it for the Eastern Michigan University class of 2017. And for all of the families and friends here today, we salute you as well. We know that this day belongs to you too. You have provided support, both financial and emotional. And as you watch your graduate earn a degree today, be proud not only of them, but also of yourselves. You are part of this success. Some of today's graduates are the first in their families to attend college. For you, today is a milestone achievement for your entire family. Graduates, let's stand, find your friends or family in the crowd, wave to them and say thank you. Let's all give them a round of applause. All right, if you're going to shout to your graduate, let's get it over with right now. Go ahead, call them out, shout them out, let's go. Okay, now that's enough. There'll be time to say thank you later. All right, graduates. graduates. Some of you will go on, as we heard, to further study. Some of you will immediately join or remain in the workforce. And while your degree will enable you to make a living, I hope you also choose to use your degree to make a difference. Today, I'm going to speak to you about making a difference. And you can make a difference in many ways. You can make a difference through public service, through volunteer work, as a mentor, as a teacher, by leading your life as an example for others. Regardless of your chosen field or profession, you can find ways to serve others in your community. Many of you experienced firsthand this year how you can make a difference. Students on this campus organized protests in response to racist vandalism. Your actions resulted in change. You made a difference. I hope that lesson carries with you throughout your lives. The great advocate for children's rights, Marian Wright Edelman, once said, "Service is the rent we pay for being. It is the very purpose of life, and not something you do in your spare time." I know that the values that have been instilled in you here at Eastern Michigan University have helped you to see the value of service. The university's mission statement includes an aspiration that its students will work to benefit the local and global community. Well, I hope to assist you as you go down that path of making a difference in your careers by sharing some rules I have learned in my career. These are the rules they don't teach you in college, so pay attention. I've learned some of them the hard way, sometimes by violating them, sometimes by dumb luck. And I know when you share rules and lists, you're usually supposed to have a top 10 list. But so far in my life, I have only learned 5 things that are worth sharing with others. And so here are my 5 rules for making a difference in your career. Rule number 1, never eliminate yourself. There's a former sports broadcaster in Detroit named Ann Doyle that I learned this rule from. She said, "Don't eliminate yourself from competing for a position just because you think you're not going to be selected." And I'll tell you, I see this all the time when I hire and promote people. I tell my kids this all the time when they're trying out for sports teams. "Oh, I'm probably not going to try out because I'm not going to make it." Well, don't eliminate yourself. Let someone else make that decision. I see this phenomenon at the workplace all the time. When I'm promoting people, I wonder, why didn't you apply for the promotion? They say, "Oh, well, I knew this guy was going to get it. I didn't think I was going to get it." Well, let the decision maker of that decision. Don't eliminate yourself. What do they say in basketball? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, that's true in the workplace as well. Maybe there is someone more qualified than you. You tip your hat, say well done, and you try again the next time. But you never know what qualifications the decision maker is looking for. It may be that although you lack some of the qualifications of your competitors, you have other attributes that are even more valuable. Or the people ahead of you may withdraw, may stumble, or may not apply at all. Don't eliminate yourself from the opportunity. Don't wait to be invited. Don't wait to be asked, as if it's somehow impolite to volunteer. People say this all the time. "I was asked to apply. I was asked to run for public office." Don't wait to be asked. If you think you can do the job, then you need to ask for it. And don't assume that they're going to choose someone else. I saw a great example of this once in the Olympics. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember the great short track speed skater Anton Apollo Ono. You remember this? He was a great speed skater, and in one particular race in the Olympics, he was racing for the gold against a great rival from South Korea. The announcers were practically drooling over the showdown between these two great lions of the sport, and they were going at it. The race began, and they're going around, and of course they're exchanging the lead one after the other. Also in this race was a much less accomplished speed skater from Australia. The announcers mocked the Australian, who they thought had no chance to win, and in fact, at one point, as Ono and his rival and the rest of the field were going around the track, they lapped the skater from Australia. But in the last lap, the two leaders, Ono and his rival from South Korea, got their skates tangled, and they went down. And when they went down, they took out the whole field with them, except for one. The Australian skater was so far behind That by the time he cleared the finish line, all the bodies were cleared, he was able to navigate his way through, and he won the gold medal because he learned to never eliminate himself. Just worry about doing your best. Don't eliminate yourself. And if you refuse to eliminate yourself, you can make a difference in this world. Okay, that's lesson number 1. Here's rule number 2. Love the work. You will spend very long hours on your jobs, whatever it is. You should love it. You deserve to love it. You have worked hard and invested too much not to love it. Now, that's not to say you will love every aspect of your job or every task that you do. Sometimes work can be hard or tedious or unpleasant. In my work as a prosecutor, there are aspects that were very unpleasant. Sometimes we had to deal with victims reliving the worst days of their lives. That part of the job could be very painful. But even though those moments weren't always fun, achieving justice for victims was deeply satisfying when I stepped back and looked at the big picture. There's a saying that says, when you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life. I hate that saying. I hate that phrase because it suggests that work is somehow a bad word. You should love the work, embrace the work for the joy that it brings. Love the work. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "Far and away, the greatest prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work that is worth doing." There is no substitute for rolling up your sleeves and delving into a matter with every fiber of your being. There's no way to cut corners and still be effective. Believe me, I've tried shortcuts, and I can think of none that work. You need to submerge yourself in the work, and once you do, the job suddenly becomes much easier. Embrace the work, love the work. When you love the work, you can make a difference in this world. Rule number 3, spend time with people who are different from you. If you want to make a difference in this world, you need to spend time with people who are different from you. You need to listen to different perspectives. In school, when you're in college, at a great university like this one with such a diverse student body, it's easy to find people with different backgrounds. But I'll tell you, when you're out there working in the workplace, it's much harder. You often find yourself in a very insulated workplace, surrounded by a small group of like-minded individuals. After a while, it's easy to start thinking everybody thinks like we do. We've become part of our own echo chamber. You need to get out of your comfort zones and seek out people with different views from your own. When I was a prosecutor, I made it a point to have lunch with criminal defense attorneys. I met with the ACLU. I visited with judges who had different views from my own. I wanted to know what our critics were saying so that I could improve what we do. If we only talk to each other, we never learn anything. You need to get out and spend time with people who are different from you. Seek out mentors who are different from you. You will naturally gravitate to people more senior in their jobs who are like you, and that's fine. But some of my best mentors were people who were different from me. People of a different race, gender, religion, age. Those are the people who could share a different viewpoint that could teach me something about the world. Gaining different perspectives will help you to understand other people and help you to make a difference in this world. Rule number 4, watch the speed limit. From time to time, even the most honest people speed in traffic. Some of us, maybe some of us, on our way here today, in an effort to be on time, a laudable goal, may have exceeded the speed limit. We'll tell ourselves we justify it, we're in a hurry, everyone else is doing it, the speed limit on this road is too slow anyway. That's human nature. But that kind of human nature, I have seen, works on a larger scale as well, in a very dangerous way. As a federal prosecutor, we prosecuted many people for breaching trust, including elected officials, doctors, corporate executives, healthcare professionals. And during our investigations, we learned about how an organization's entire culture can become corrupted. People justify bad behavior in all kinds of rational ways, in the same way we do with speeding. Well, everyone else does it. The ends justify the means. The rules are dumb. But before they knew it, good people were stealing millions of dollars of public funds. They were extorting contractors, cheating Medicare, or paying bribes. Many of the people we convicted were accomplished professionals who had attended good schools, just like you. I'm sure they sat one day and listened to a graduation speaker who gave them all kinds of words of wisdom and advice, and they never imagined that they would be the ones whose ethics would be compromised. But it was each incremental step down that road, Each small step that got them there, and by the time they were done, they had traveled a long distance. Don't cross that line into illegal or unethical behavior. Watch the speed limit. You need to act ethically if you are going to fulfill your destiny of making a difference in this world. And finally, the last rule, number 5, serve others. I am convinced that the secret to a happy life is serving others. At some point, we all reach this realization. As kids, we love it when people give us birthday presents. Don't we? What am I getting? I can't wait for my birthday. I'm going to get so many presents. But as adults, we find that the real joy is in giving gifts to others. In the book Tuesdays with Morrie, Mitch Albom wrote about spending every Tuesday with his dying teacher and friend. And Morrie, he finds, actually finds happiness in his dying days by listening and helping other people. And he tells Mitch, the more you give, the more you live. Doing something nice for someone else is the secret to a happy life. It can be big things or it can be small things, and that translates into your career as well. When you use your degree to improve your community, when you help people who need a professional expertise like legal skills, accounting skills, when you provide consulting advice, when you help resolve a dispute, you will find joy and satisfaction in serving others. If you find yourself just in a bad mood someday, angry or upset about something, I have found that doing something nice for others, even something small, a favor, a kind word, a compliment, cleaning up a mess, I feel much better about myself and the situation that had me angry in the first place. Serving others is built into our DNA. It makes us joyful. It makes us satisfied. It isn't something that we give to others, although we do have that benefit, but the secret is we get more when we give. Serve others and make a difference. Okay, those are the 5 rules. Now, you can find different ways to make a difference. You can make a direct difference by working with individuals who are disadvantaged in some way. You know, it's been said that when you say something brilliant, somewhere a baby cries. Thank you. Appreciate that, baby. You can also make a difference working for a public interest organization, such as the NAACP or the United Way. But you don't have to take a job in public service to make a difference. You can be in the private sector. You can make a lot of money and still make a difference. You do not have to be mutually exclusive, especially when there are loans to be repaid. You can make a difference in many ways. When I hired lawyers to be assistant U.S. attorneys in my office, I hired people from many different professional backgrounds, law firms, corporations, government agencies, universities. But the one thing I always looked for on a resume and asked about in an interview was a demonstrated commitment to serving others. And people demonstrated that commitment in a variety of different ways. And you can too. You can demonstrate your commitment to employers in the world by serving as a big brother or big sister. You can serve on volunteer boards or committees at places of worship and nonprofit organizations. You can serve as a high school wrestling coach like one of today's graduates, the great Jabri Harris. There are many ways to make a difference. And so as you leave this wonderful university, remember the friendships, the classmates, the professors who shared their wisdom, the support you received from your friends and family, and take great pride in knowing that you came here and worked hard to absorb all that this great university has to offer. You have invested in your education. You have made great financial sacrifices. You've worked long, hard hours. You've spent considerable amount of time away from your friends and family. But by investing in your education, you have given yourselves a great gift. How you use this gift is up to you. But whatever job you take, I urge you to use your degree not only to make a living, but also to make a difference. Thank you and congratulations, class of 2017.
Thank you, Professor McQuade.